if you lived in Philadelphia, unless you're stunad, that's an Italian expression for stupid. Unless you're stupid, you knew that a lot of people were coming over from Camden to vote. They do every year. Happens all the time in Philly. It's about as frequent as getting beaten up at a Philadelphia Eagle football game. Happens all the time. All the time. And it's allowed to happen because it is a Democrat corrupt city and has been for years. Many, many years. And they carried it out in places they could get away with it.
For advertising opportunities for the following show, email us at cornerpubsports@gmail.com.
It's time for the best pubcast around, Corner Pub Sports. The gang is all here, gathered around the bar to bring you their opinions on the latest sports topics while drinking their favorite brews. Follow the gang on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Corner Pub Sports and on cornerpubsports.com. You can also join in the conversation by texting 267-277-3406. Now, grab a cold one, sit back, and enjoy the show. Welcome to the pub.
Hi, I'm Brian Proud from the Philadelphia Flyers. You're listening to Corner Pub Sports.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
Corner Pub Sports.
What is up, everybody? Corner Pub Sports coming at you live here on Friday night. If you're watching it live on Facebook Live, on our Facebook Live page, we thank you very much. If you're watching on YouTube, we're now on YouTube again. We thank you. And if you're downloading the show on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, what's that other one?
Satchel.
We thank you guys so much for tuning in. Corner Pub Sports coming at you like we do every Friday night. And we have a Pat show for you tonight. We're waiting on Mike. I don't know where Mike is, but
Not to cut you guys off, but I got one thing to say. Hey, Giuliani, fuck you. Your mom should have fucking aborted you. Your dad should have left you on the fucking sheet, you piece of shit bag.
All over my shirt!
well, there's that. Yeah, I just thought it was another thing just to fuel the fire of the Philadelphia fan. You know, first of all,
fuck.
Philadelphia Eagles basketball game. You can't even get that right. Yeah. It's okay, because later in that hard press conference, he started quoting my cousin Vinny, and he even fucked that up too. So, well, anyway,
don't want to spend too much time on this, but talk about a guy who was on top of the world 20 years ago with 9/11, on top of the world because of the way he handled everything.
Yeah, he should have dropped the building on him.
So where
the tower should have fell right on him.
Yeah, I can't argue it. My pretty.
Dude, I can't. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna wish death on the guy. Christ,
fuck that guy.
Fucking Oswald Cobblepot.
Fucking 90 fucking year old Eddie Munster looking cocksucker.
He does though. But anyway, not to segue, but we have a packed show tonight. We're going to talk a little baseball tonight. We got some football stuff going on. Eagles are sucking it up. Speaking of the Philadelphia Eagles basketball team, they suck. Yeah. And we're going to blast the shit out of them. We're going to do a Corner Pub Jukebox tonight. We're going to pay tribute to a member of the family who has Philadelphia ties that go deep into Philadelphia sports history, and we're going to pay tribute to him tonight. And in honor of that, beer's good. I'm drinking a whiskey sour in his honor. And
sorry for your loss there, Mr. Selby.
Thank you, sir. Cheers.
Well, let's get to it, man. Let's do a shot for him.
All right. To tell me fucking toys.
Unfortunately, I didn't get any Jameson tonight.
That's probably a fortunate thing for all of us.
At least they'll be coherent.
I tell you what, I'll guzzle the rest of this 7% beer.
All right, there you go. All right, hold on. You got to wait.
We doing a cheers, homie.
We got more.
To your father-in-law, Sean.
Thanks, guys. Cheers. Thank you.
Tribute to Bill.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have whiskey breath tonight, baby. That's for sure.
And there we go. That's for Bill.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Bill.
So in his honor, little Dire Straits, because he was him and I had a connection there. I told him this was one of my favorite songs ever, and he went on to tell me that he loved Dire Straits, and he said he loved the song too. So I don't know what it is about the song, man. I love the guitar playing, the clean guitar playing by Mark Knopfler. I love this song. So in his honor, little Dire Straits for you. All right, so we'll get to more of that in a little bit, but let's get to the Sixers. Big week for the Sixers. And, yeah, man, I got to tell you, I'm floored by what they were able to do.
Dude.
All around.
I'm sorry for interrupting your moment there, brother.
Yeah, for what?
My internet cut out. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, no, you're good.
There he is.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
What's up, guys?
What's up, brother?
Perfect timing, Mike.
We were just getting into the Sixers.
And,
nice.
We opened and that's all you can do, man.
They did great, man. So,
I love the Mark Knopfler. I know that's an homage to somebody. I don't know if we gotten into it yet, but I'm
a little
sure
bit, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's a great tune.
Thanks, man.
What's up, Mark?
So why don't you want to talk about the trades first?
Just dude, start from the beginning, man. Like the beginning on draft day. Like it built up. You kept hearing this James Harden thing. I think we were all on the same page. Yeah, James Harden's great, but we didn't want to give up Ben Simmons.
James Harden's older. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I get that he's a generational talent and, one of the best players in the world, at least offensively. But
doesn't play a lick of defense.
No. So
he's got a pretty beard.
I don't know. There's probably birds and shit in there.
Nah, dude. He's got a guy who comes in every 3 days.
Nah, it smells like cognac and weed.
Nah, dude.
Well, it probably does.
It might.
He's got a guy to clean that up.
He's got a guy.
He's got a guy.
Who's got a guy?
He's from fucking Second and Christian. He cleans that shit right up.
But the first one you heard about, I'm drawing a blank. What was the first trade? They got rid of the Horford contract.
Yep.
Right.
Big side of that was amazing.
Oh, you know what? And are we going to talk about his asshole sister at all?
Nah, fuck, dude. She don't deserve any time. Like, I'm not getting into that. If you guys want to talk,
Mark said dry tuna.
So they get rid of Horford's contract.
Yeah.
You traded 2 picks, but
one was a second rounder.
But to get rid of that contract, you were going to have to give something up, and then you got Danny Green in return, man.
And Terrence Ferguson.
I don't know much about him.
He's my understanding on him was that he's young, but he hasn't really panned out. So it's kind of just taking a shot with him.
Yeah, former first round pick. He's 22, 23.
Oh, all right.
He's a 3-and-D guy. He's good on the defensive end of the floor, so that's good. I mean, at least hopefully it's a little stability on that end of the court. Is Gary just away? Yeah, he's just away, right? Yeah. I see a light. Yeah, Callie said very awesome. Dire Straits is his top 10.
Yeah,
it's a great song.
I knew you had a little bit of a musical taste.
I was going to say just 1 in 10 you got.
But yeah, to get Danny Green to shed most of all, what do you got? Friends. Gary's got Friendsgiving there.
I didn't know that.
To shed That horrible. I mean, what I think you still owed like $80 million or something crazy like that.
Yeah, what was it? A 4-year, $95 million deal or something?
Yeah, with incentives, it could be even more. So you got rid of 3 of the years off of it. Only have a 1-year guarantee on this for less money, like $8 million less this year, and then you decide if you want to keep them. So it gives you much more flexibility in the future that we had lost. So and it's somebody that's a better fit.
Like in one move, you cleared a lot of cap space and got a lights out shooter.
Yeah. There isn't a whole lot to dislike about that.
No, I of course there's people out there. There's those.
Yeah, I commented on Twitter. I commented on Twitter actually. Tyrone Johnson put something on. Stop comparing him to his brother. Or no, I'm sorry. That was on the second deal. That was on the second trade. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't know because he blocked Corner Pub Sports on Twitter for some reason. Him and Natalie Eganoff both blocked it. We don't know why. Have no idea why they blocked us. I've never said anything bad about either one of them because
she's got genital warts.
Probably does.
I wouldn't mind finding out.
No, don't get me wrong. Genital warts or not, I'm still running up in it like Bruce Jenner.
Shit.
Look at that. We got the wire.
Damn, that's fucking.
Like that?
Yes.
That's a new addition.
Yes. Shit.
What's up, Joe? What's up, brother? Haven't seen you on here on a live chat in a while. Good to see you, bro.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, so Danny Green and Terrence Ferguson. Wasn't that? What was? Terrence Peterson. That was was that Hot Tub Time Machine? You better keep your hands off of Terrence Peterson.
Yeah.
Flash.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard Terrence Ferguson, I was like, Terrence? Oh, no, it can't be. It can't be. I hope it is, but it can't be. Maybe I should add that to the soundboard just in case, just every time we talk about it, we just play that clip.
There you go.
Joe Bucci said he's been under a rock.
Yeah, he's been chirping up somebody. I see some of his posts about the Eagles and stuff. He's not real happy with them right now. We'll get into them later.
Hey, Joe, say hello to my friend the Centipede.
As long as it's not under a building like Giuliani should have been, right?
Yeah. Freedom.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Any news of Buddy Hield? I have not heard anything about Buddy Hield yet.
No, and I have a feeling that with them getting Green and Carey, that's going to be what that's what Buddy Hield would have been.
Sounds like something you call a fucking boil in your fucking asshole.
Buddy Hield?
Fucking Giuliani.
No, Gary's on having a conversation on a different.
And Callie said, De'Aaron Fox, he signed a max deal.
So they're not going to. They're not going to re-sign Buddy. So
all right.
Yeah. I heard that they were going to because they're not getting Bogdanovic or whatever.
But he doesn't want to be there. I don't think he'll sign.
Right. How's your whiskey sour, Sean?
It's excellent. It's very good.
So maybe you get closer to the trade deadline. I don't know. Zaire Smith. You can't part with Thibault now because he's your really only legitimate perimeter defender besides Simmons.
Yeah, losing Richardson, obviously that took that away.
Maybe before we get too much into the Sixers, real quick, Drew Holiday was traded to the Bucks.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Is that just a theme this year because of COVID or whatever? What's going on? Like because the Bucks gave up an awful lot for a 33-year-old.
I think he's 31. They
did give up a lot. They what was it? A couple first rounders,
2 first rounders, a second, and the
Brogdon, right?
No, the other one. Was it Brogdon?
I don't know. I get them all mixed up, but
they got like 7 guards. So but yeah, like it was no, it wasn't Brogdon. That was Bledsoe.
No, Bledsoe. Bledsoe and Drew are kind of similar players. Drew's maybe a slight step up.
Yeah, so like to give up 2 first round picks and a third, and then they're taking. I don't know. They just gave up an awful lot for him.
Yeah,
trades were. I mean, because even in the CP3 trade too, he gets traded, and that was a lot. That was a first and a second rounder, a couple of players involved. For a guy who's 34,
35,
35.
Yeah, he's been in the league for 15 years.
And I don't know. Joe wants to know if Harden ends up in Brooklyn. I thought that was a possibility before the draft. I'm
going out for a cigarette, guys.
I don't know.
I hope he does end up in Brooklyn though, because it'll blow it up. There's no way them three can play together.
All right.
There's no way. The only one out of them three that can light you up without the ball constantly is Durant. Durant can light you up with 15 shots.
All right.
Yeah.
But for Kyrie and Harden to be effective, they need the ball, and neither one of them play a lick of defense.
I think just Kyrie. Yeah. I think just Kyrie and Durant might be an issue.
I'll tell you what. I think Kyrie is overrated. Like he was good with Cleveland. He had the really good year with Cleveland when he won it.
He was good with LeBron.
And then it told me a lot when they traded him for Kemba Walker, or whatever it worked out, where they ended up with Kemba Walker and got better.
Yeah, they didn't.
Kemba Walker's a good player. I mean, don't get me wrong, but they got a lot better.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and Kyrie's regarded as like a stud, and I don't know, the team got better. What else you for Kemba? I mean, I'd take Kemba over Kyrie any day, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
Number one, he plays 75 games a year. Kyrie doesn't.
Yeah.
And he's a better shooter.
Yeah. Cal said it's okay. The Sixers still have Korkmaz to provide depth.
You laugh at that, but where we're at now, him being the seventh guy.
Yeah, I'd be all right with that. I don't have a problem with Korkmaz. I thought he just can't be your first or second guy off the bench.
Exactly. But him being your seventh or eighth guy.
And he said Joe wants to know about Zach LaVine. The only thing with that, there was rumors that they were going to have to trade, which to me is insane, because there's no way in hell I'm trading either Embiid or Simmons for LaVine and like a pick, or there's no way.
No.
Yeah. Luckily, Morley's done a fantastic job. Let's keep talking about, because he gets Danny Green, and Danny Green he was 40.
He's a little bit older and stuff like that, but I mean he's still. And the other thing is he's an underrated defender.
Yes, but
you're talking about the perimeter defender other than Thibault. Danny Green could be that perimeter defender.
Right, and he's not just a shooter. He can also run the floor and create his own.
Yeah,
like he can drive.
He's a good leader. Yeah, a lot to like about him.
Yeah, getting that leadership is huge. Maybe it might help him out a little bit. How you feeling there, Mike?
I'm all right.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, I just think that was a great move, because like you're getting a guy like he's not a shutdown defensive guy at all, but hey, he's a career 40% shooter for three.
Yeah,
that's a little above the NBA average, I believe. So yeah, I have no problem with that at all. And we were talking about in our thread during the week. You compared him with what we had before, and with Redick, and he's not a liability as much as Redick was.
Right. And Redick could be so streaky at times. And when Redick was cold, it was hard to keep him on the floor because he couldn't defend to save his life.
Yeah, he couldn't defend, and he wasn't. He couldn't do anything but shoot threes. I mean,
right. Like
Danny Green can at least kind of drive a little bit. I mean,
right. And Danny Green will get you a rebound, will get you a couple assists.
Yeah.
Like that Redick, if he's not hitting shots, it's like, why are you on the floor?
Yeah. Danny Green's at least going to give you a little more than that. And Danny Green, like Callie points out, he's also streaky too. He's a streaky shooter as well. But then again, a lot of the average NBA players in the league are streaky shooters.
It's hard to consistent. I mean, not everybody's Steph Curry.
And even Steph Curry, there's times where he has off nights too.
Good segue.
You see what I did there?
I do, because we got Steph Curry's brother, Seth Curry. Sixers also made another trade. They got Seth Curry. They traded. Why am I blanking right now?
Before we get into that, who was complaining about the Horford trade? Were they complaining about the first rounder 5 years from now?
They're basically saying that's what you got back for him. That's what you got. Like,
it's people that don't understand basketball.
Okay.
For the, I mean, what is it? 3 years now? Like really that Simmons and Embiid have been playing together. The only time they looked like it could work is when you had shooters around them.
Yep.
Minus the Jimmy Butler thing. I mean, that's different because Jimmy Butler's a different kind of guy.
Well, Jimmy Butler's top 5 player in the NBA.
Right. So, but the only time it looked like it could consistently work is when they had shooters with Bellinelli and Ilyasova.
Right.
Like,
and Redick.
And Redick. So
smelly belly.
So
Ilyasova's back out there, by the way.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I would definitely be intrigued with that.
What about and Gary's bringing up earlier? The Sixers released Pell, and Nerlens Noel's out there. Do you bring Nerlens back as a backup center?
Do you think Nerlens wants to come back after like it didn't end real well here?
It's a different man. It's a different front office. It's a different team. I don't
know. Noel's also proved that he could be a little bit of a head case.
I don't want Noel. I mean, if it didn't work with Noel here, with Embiid, backing up Embiid 4 years ago, I don't see why it worked now.
Well, on that point, Mike, I think like it could work because when we traded Noel wanted starter minutes. At this point in Noel's career, he knows he'd be coming here to be the backup center.
Okay. Well, he knew he was going to have to be the backup center to Embiid by that point.
But a young kid who was drafted very high, he wasn't real willing to take that role on. You know what I mean? Because he was the backup. I mean, basically everywhere he's going, he hasn't been the starter. So
right.
Bring back Fultz though.
What's that, Gary?
Nothing.
He said bring back Fultz.
Oh, bring back Fultz.
Kim.
Shut the fuck up!
Now,
I never want to see that. Every time I see that fucking pussy's face, man.
Sideshow Bob.
Oh, I fucking hate him. I hate him so much.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
So
moving on.
What about Seth Curry though? I mean, so now you got Seth Curry. He's another shooter.
That one I'm not as. I mean, I like it. I don't love it.
Why, Mike? He's a career 44% 3-point shooter.
He's upset about Josh Richardson.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Richardson was on a contract that wasn't a bad contract. Maybe I'm hanging on to the fact that, at one point he was considered, Jimmy Butler light. Josh Richardson, even with Seth Curry being a shooter and a good shooter, Josh Richardson was the best player in that deal, and we gave up a second-round pick to boot to get somebody that's a better fit for us. I get that, but it seems like we got the shorter end of the stick on that deal to improve shooting or for somebody that's a better fit.
It makes that Jimmy Butler deal look even worse.
Yeah.
Not resigning.
Because you gave up the guy that you traded him for.
Right. It definitely makes that deal look worse. We already felt like shit before that with what Butler ended up doing in Miami. And it wasn't like any of us were surprised. We knew what kind of player Jimmy Butler was. We were excited when we got him. And they chose to bias over him, and that's what they did. But
it's either they chose to bias over him, or it was Ben Simmons, Brett Brown. It could have been
Brett Brown.
I think they chose Brett Brown over him.
We had Uran Weitzman on right before COVID hit, actually. I think that was our last show. Before we had a little bit of a shutdown. We had Uran Weitzman on, and he has that the book out, Tanking to the Top. And if you haven't read it, if you're a basketball fan, go out and get it.
Shit, man, I was supposed to grab that from you, Ryan.
And then when you were here for the fire, I forgot to get it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it right. Okay. I was wondering where it was.
Yeah, I still got it.
Watch out for page 356. I came in it.
Sean's children are on 356.
You got it all over my shirt.
I'm coming day and night.
It's a phenomenal book. What a great promotion we just gave him about coming on his book.
Yeah.
Leaving seed everywhere.
But getting back to that,
Bruh.
I know it's what you gave up to get him, but at some point, like the only way this is going to work with Embiid and Simmons is surrounding them with shooters. So
yeah, I mean,
so the position we were in,
it seems like a better fit,
right? So at some point, you were going to have to sacrifice defense for offense, and so. I hear you on the Josh Richardson thing. I hear you.
I didn't say I hated it. I said I liked it. I didn't love it.
Right. Josh Richardson has the potential to become an elite defender,
and a pretty good two-way player.
Yeah.
He's banged up last year too for periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I where they're at right now, I think this is the best way for this to work. So,
breaking news. Dwight Howard agrees to join the 76ers.
Are you serious?
Yes.
No.
Wow.
Dwight Howard is a 76er.
No.
Yeah.
That's your backup center?
He did make a statement that he would love to stay with the Lakers, but he wants to get paid. So
yeah, but did the Sixers have the money to pay him?
They do now because they don't have
but I mean, are they going to waste all their money on?
I hope not.
Wow, how about that, man? I haven't seen.
Where are you hearing this? Because what I'm getting is there's barely any interest in Dwight Howard. What's the source, bro?
King of clickbait.
Yes, there it is. Shams.
Yeah.
Sam Sure. Yeah.
1 year deal. 1 year deal.
What? I'm a jerk off because I'm not a.
I didn't call you a jerk off, but you're the clickbait king.
No, dude. I wouldn't have said it if I didn't.
2.6 million.
That's not bad.
2.6 million.
Dwight Howard is your backup center.
2.6. Oh my God.
That's I don't hate that.
I think I love it. I really think I love it.
I don't know how I mean, I know he had a little bit of a resurgence last year, right? I mean, he's got to be. He's better than Kyle O'Quinn, right? I mean, he's going to be
yeah.
How about that, Gary, with the breaking news on the Sixers?
Good job,
Yeah.
Well done, bro.
Yeah,
we might have the most buff team in the NBA now. That's those fucking.
Yeah, we got another guy with a sideshow Bob haircut, though.
True.
Well, who else is buff on the team? Embiid's certainly not buff. I guess Embiid's not.
He's not weak.
I'm not fucking with Embiid if I see him in the street. Simmons is
just kick him in the knees.
There ain't too many 7-foot guys I want to fuck with, but
yeah.
So picture
just beat him with a low management stick.
So how about the draft pick, dude?
Yes, yeah, I love the draft.
Yes,
Tyrese.
Guy was projected to go anywhere from like 7 to 14 or something. We got him at 21. He just fell, and and that's a situation where and it's so weird because how many times do we all agree on a draft pick and all love it, and how many times, like especially me, 90% of the time I'm hating a draft pick. They took they took Rager.
Mike.
They took Hurts. I was pissed. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
they took Errol Thomas. I wanted Brandon Graham. I love Fletcher Cox when they drafted him. So there you go. There's your I love Cox soundbite.
Yeah.
Mike, you love big black Cox.
Yeah. So
Steele Schwartz is as big.
Yeah. So this one though, when I looked at it, I'm like, all right, you're not overthinking it. A guy slips, wasn't the best shooter, maybe not the quote unquote perfect fit, but a good fit. And you took the best guy there.
I don't want to not to cut you off, Mike, but I'm going to cut you off. So the Tyrese Maxey, yes, not the best shooter. Like
I don't want to cut you off, but I'm going to cut you off.
Shut up, Gary. So he only shot 29% from 3.
Right.
But
he shot 80-some% from the foul line, which means I get it.
And also, In crunch time and with game on the line, he shot 54% from three.
Wow.
So when you need a bucket, like the kid performed.
Yeah, and I heard a lot of other good things about it. About him, he's always improving his game. He's really loves the game, works on his craft constantly. You know, only going to get better. I mean, I know that it's obviously somebody that's going to paint him in a good light, but Calipari's like, man, if they had the tournament this year, I expected us to go far, and he would have been like, top 5 pick or something.
Biggest attribute to him, which is it's something to me. It was the thing that stuck out the most, and my stepfather-in-law, I guess, is a huge Kentucky fan, so he was obviously glad the Sixers got him, but he and I were talking about it, and Calipari brought it up, and they also brought it up during the broadcast, the draft, during draft night. The biggest thing with him, he's not afraid of the big moment. He's clutch.
Yeah.
You haven't had that guy you can give the ball to at the end of it. Now, granted,
Jimmy,
he's going to be right.
Yeah,
so after he left, you didn't have anybody. So now you got a guy. Now, are you going to rely on a rookie to be your killer at the end of a game? Maybe not year one, but
well, depending on how he's, yeah,
right. You never know.
Yeah, you don't know. Maybe he is the guy. Who knows? But
picture this, and the Sixers haven't had this. They haven't had this the whole time with the Embiid and Simmons thing. Picture this. There's 5 seconds left. You're down 2. You put Simmons to inbound the ball. You can get the ball to Green, Curry, Embiid, who can hit a 3, or this kid Maxey.
Mm-hmm.
All 4 of them can legitimately win the game for you.
Even Tobias can hit a 3 every once in a while if he needs to. He's not the first option.
Oh, all those options.
I'm coming day and night.
So many options. It's true though, man. That's a lot of
coming day and night.
They're saying that he's the thing that they said about him is he's going to basically be what we were hoping Markelle Fultz would be. He's going to be that off the ball. He could have the ball in his hands. He can create with it, but he's that off the ball player that's going to complement Simmons.
He's bigger. He's bigger than what Fultz was, right? No. Is he?
Yeah, he's thick. I mean, just from like the look, like he's thicker. Like he looks bulkier.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
So speaking of that, though, who's the backup point guard?
Oh, right now, I mean, they don't have one. Right now, it could be Burke. It could be They're gonna have to sign a backup point guard.
Yeah, I guess it is Burke.
They didn't have a backup. Their backup point guard last. Well, Shake Milton's probably your backup, right?
Oh wait, I forgot about Shake. Yeah, that's the backup.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Shake.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
I'm all right with Shake. You probably still want to go out and get.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting another veteran, just in case Milton's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone was really high on the other 2 picks that the Sixers got too.
Isaiah Joe shot like 54%.
Yeah, he's another killer. Another stone cold.
They're all saying he's a steal. Yep. And they're saying he's a steal as well. And Paul Reed out of DePaul.
He's a center. Yeah, backup center. Well, now he's going to be your third center, obviously.
Yeah, 6'9" center. And again, everyone was saying that too. They're saying that he was a steal. So, between that and the deals that the Sixers made, I mean, grade. I have to give them an A. I think they did a fantastic job.
A plus, like this.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that stops me from the plus is a little bit of the Josh Richardson deal, but yeah, a solid A.
Would you agree that they're significantly better?
Yeah. I think they fixed their deficiencies. I think they molded the team to better complement what works for Embiid and Simmons with the shooters.
Absolutely.
So
one other thing I want to mention too, Tobias Harris. Let's not give up on that dude. It wasn't a good year last year. It wasn't, but the moves that they made are going to make him
back to make him the
better because he is now not the best shooter on the team. So all that pressure is not on him.
Yeah.
Now you're paying him like the best shooter on the team, but that's not his fault.
Right. You had a maximum to keep him.
Right.
You know, that's the only thing. If you wanted to, unfortunately, that's the way of the business, right? That's what happens. So,
yeah, I mean, you got out from everybody else. So now, Harris is your max guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I mean, maybe he turns it back around and, does well. So, yeah, I'm wondering, I'm still thinking about the Dwight Howard move, whether he took less money or,
Yeah, like I said, I read something 2 or 3 days ago. Like he would love to stay with the Lakers, but at this point in his career, he wants to be paid.
I just saw something about Howard. See, now it's not going to come out. It's something about the Lakers. Like he put out like a kind of a cryptic message to the Lakers. I lost it now. I had it here a second ago. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, so it's not showing up here. He had some kind of cryptic message for Lakers fans. Yes, about an hour ago, and then he signs with the Sixers.
So he knew it was coming.
Yeah. Pretty cool, man. I'm good with it. I have no problem with it.
No, that's a bona fide backup for Embiid. Like
there was something when we were talking. What are the Sixers' needs? And we said a backup center. Well, you got it. You drafted one, and you also signed Dwight Howard. So how about that? I mean, having him in a Sixers uniform, it's gonna be pretty weird.
Yeah,
I would have never would have thought that. It's a shame it wasn't 10 years ago, but that's all right. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's what my buddy Tommy was just saying to me. We were texting about it, and he said, "I don't know, I'm not that impressed with it. He's not the player he once was." And he's not. But he's your backup center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
like you're not paying for 20 and 10 Dwight Howard.
No,
you're paying for like 11 and 7 and defend the rim for 18 minutes.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I guess in theory, he's going to be capable for spot starts if Embiid's out.
And I'm okay with that. I got audio actually of Dwight Howard and Embiid when he got signed.
Say hi to your new partner, Triceracop.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the team. Did you
fucking Triceracop?
So did you hear about the player who got traded by the Miami Heat right before the Sixers? Precious Achiuwa.
Oh, Precious Achiuwa. That's the best name out of the draft.
Yeah.
So Precious Achiuwa, which in itself.
Oh,
right?
Precious. Give me back my cat, you bitch. That was the cat's name, right?
It was
pretty sure, right?
Dog. It was a dog. Yeah. Give back my dog.
The dog, yeah.
Precious. So I thought that, and I was like,
"Oh my precious!"
Achiuwa. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's from Nigeria, right? And he's living in Nigeria. He's got that hat on, the thing that like Fez wears, and whatever. And he cheers and he hugs his mom and all. And they're like, yeah, his brother's name is God's Gift Achiuwa. I'm like, God's right? And,
God bless you.
And so I'm like, that's kind of wild, right? So I looked up his family tree. It's Precious Achiuwa.
Of course you did.
His brother's name is God's Gift Achiuwa. His sister's name is Grace Achiuwa. Right? His other sister's name is Peace Achiuwa. He has two other brothers. Peace Achiuwa.
Your balls are showing.
I'm sorry. The other brother's name is God's Will Achiuwa. So he's got Precious, God's Gift,
and God's Will.
And his other brother's name is Promise Achiuwa.
Promise
Achiuwa. The dad's name is See a Bitch Achiuwa. He fucking rolled out after this fucking kids are named.
The mom's name is I'm a Pig Achiuwa.
You fat bitch! You fat bitch!
His mom's name is My Legs Are Still Open.
Yeah.
Achoo!
Wow. Pretty wild.
Fucking animals.
Pretty wild. Well, on that note, it's are we're good? We're good with the Sixers?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. So I wanted to pay someone said lamp so, this week I lost a member of my family. My father-in-law, Bill Cunningham, passed away. Kind of suddenly, he fell ill, and less than a week later, that was it. And the reason why I bring it up on the show is because he had a deep Philadelphia connection. And he was the grandson of one Connie Mack.
Wow.
And
I gotta refresh my drink, Sean. I don't mean no disrespect. I'll be right back.
Yep. So he was the grandson of Connie Mack. And he was also a bat boy on the in the 1950s. I don't remember which year for the Philadelphia A's when he was a kid. So I was fortunate enough to interview him a couple years ago, and we played it on the show at the time. And I thought, what better way to pay him tribute and to remember him is by playing it again. And it's kind of interesting because I want to hear some of the stories, because I remember one story specifically that it stuck with me, and I think it'll always stick with me. And I think like when my son gets older, when he learns a little bit about sports and baseball players and stuff, I think this will be a story that, and I'm going to have this on recording, obviously, so he'll always have it, so he can hear it himself. But yeah, I thought I'd want to play it. So, don't mind. It's about 10 minutes, 12 minutes long. And here's my interview with Mr. William Cunningham, the late, great William Cunningham. So I am joined by Bill Cunningham, who is the grandson of Connie Mack, of course, the great manager of the Philadelphia Athletics, Hall of Fame. Of course, the stadium that the Phillies played in for quite a while, and the A's, but I'm also joined by my wife, Quinn, who, if you do the math, is the great granddaughter of Connie Mack. So, Bill, thanks for coming on.
Oh, my pleasure.
So I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I'm glad you agreed to do this. But I guess I just wanted to kind of like pick your brain a little bit about not only Connie Mack, but you also served as a bat boy when you were younger, and just I just kind of want to pick your brain on what that experience was like, and maybe compare that time to what it is like now. Because even the players, their experiences with the fans and so on. But maybe we can start with that. So when did you serve as a bat boy?
The last 2 years that the A's were in Philly, they were the summers of 53 and 54. Yes, that's correct. 53 and 54. And, it was a thrill for me just to be with professional ball players. And like you just mentioned, they are totally different from the players of today. These guys were alcoholics, womanizers, cursors, fighters. It was not that we're not having fights lately, but totally different kind of people.
And like they would interact with the fans more, I guess, as well, or were they kind of like standoffish?
I don't know. I think they were probably a little standoffish. I hope the players today are, when I would take Quinn down to a Phillies game, we would go early so we could get autographs from the players, and we got lucky every time. I don't know if that would have happened in the old days.
I guess it's an interesting point because, you think about some of the players now, especially myself, when my sister was sick when we were younger, we had a lot of charity events that we would attend held by the players, like John Kruk, Mickey Morandini, Rollins, Lieberthal, all those guys did these charities. I guess back then you weren't really
doing stuff like that? These players didn't have things like that.
I don't know. I don't think so. No, I don't think these players back in the 50s, or if you go before or after that, immediately after that, I don't think they ran charities at all. And the reason being, they did not make any money. They were paid piss poor salaries, especially compared to the players of today.
Is there like a moment or maybe several moments that kind of stand out to you when you were, doing the bat boy duties?
Yeah, there were lots of times, just being with the players in the dugouts and hearing them harass umpires. I'll never forget one guy. His name was Pete Suter, and he was sort of a backup utility infielder. And he would be harassing the umpires all day long, like, "Hey, ump, move around. You're killing the grass." And what was the other one? "Oh, yeah. Hey, ump, don't move. I got a bet on you." They used to harass the umpires something awful. And
that's pretty interesting because, like, nowadays, you start doing stuff like that, you're out of the game.
Right. Yeah, they don't put up with it anymore.
They're a little more lenient. That's pretty funny.
It is. It was funny to me at the time because these guys were such characters. These were the guys you met at the bar for beers and a good time. Crazy guys.
Isn't there somebody who kind of messed with you too? One of the players that kind of joked with you?
Oh my God, you're
playing a prankish on you.
It wasn't a prank. It was you guys would know the name Page, Satchel Paige.
Oh, yes.
Okay, one day I'm like a 13-year-old kid in a fog, and this player comes up to me and he says to me, "What's your name?" "Bill." "Bill, go get me 3 baseballs." So I go get him 3 baseballs. He goes over and straddles third base, looking through the coach's box into the seats. And he says to me, "Bill, tell me where this ball lands." And without turning his body so that his back is to second base, he just whips the ball right-handed, and the ball goes sailing over, and boom, doesn't it land just in front of first base? And then he takes ball number, and he says to me where to go. And I said, "Well, you missed. You're short." He says, "Okay." And he takes ball number 2 and throws that. Boom, it lands just beyond first base. And I said, I'm laughing now. You missed again. He takes the third ball and smacks it right in the center of first base. And now I'm saying to myself, you did that on purpose. But what a terrific person Satchel Paige was.
That's awesome.
And that man, now this had to be in 53. It might have been where he had left baseball for a few years, came back just to set records as to be the oldest human being to play baseball, because you'd have to look up his records. But
yeah. I mean, he pitched forever, and doing it at such a high level at such an older age. It was phenomenal. Correct. And he got a late start anyway in the majors because
he was black.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And then I guess, Connie Mack, I know before we started talking, you said you're not sure if you're going to remember too much, but is there anything you can think of?
Well, you brought up the blacks, and I have had people tell me, and I do not think this is true, but people thought that Connie Mack was prejudiced and hated the blacks. But that year, 53 and 54, the first 2 black players came to Connie Mack's team. It was a Vic Power, who played left field and first base, came from the Yankees because the Yankees hated him, and a pitcher. I can't think of his name. It was a deacon. He was a priest. Really nice guy. I can't think of his name, but he did have 2 black players, and he had a black chauffeur, and his name was Chuck, and he was a great guy. So I didn't see it. I didn't see it as being prejudiced. But
was he like when I look at footage of Connie Mack from those days, he looked like a guy that towered over other people. Like was his like persona really that much bigger than the game itself? Because that's the way I look at it. Like that's how I always.
It really
kind of
was because even the way the newspapers treated him, the politicians, everyone, he was like. The funny part is it was such a dichotomy because the players were these foul-mouthed drunkards and fighters and womanizers, and here's Connie Mack, tall with a high starch collar and I forget that hat, straw hat he used to wear, and very religious and straight. I was told that no word worse than fudge ever came out of his mouth. So to be making your living in this world and be this standout person, it really was strange.
Well, and he was still a businessman too, right? Where I think you told me about the people across the street from the ballpark would put bleachers on their rooftops, and so he built up the wall.
Yes.
Which I think is now kind of why where the rooftop bleachers at the Phillies are kind of in homage to.
Yes, it probably is.
Tell that story.
Well, I can't think. What was it? 20th and Lehigh. I think the one street was 20th Lehigh, so the next one probably would have been 19th. But over the right field fence, which was maybe, I don't know, I have no idea what it was, but it was at one height. And then when the people started sitting on the rooftops, and then the people who owned the homes put up bleachers, he realized all the dollars he was losing to these people on the roofs, so he built the wall higher. And, funny thing is, as I remember it in 53 and 54, that wall still wasn't high enough. You might have blocked out the outfielders or something, but these people were pretty high. They had a good view for a cheaper price.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's funny the way people will, find a way to make a buck and find a way to save a buck. But the thing that I can't understand is how popular this game was, because I guess he started playing. How's this? The Phillies started 1983, I think. And Cincinnati started
1883. Yeah.
I'm sorry, 1883. Right. And then a couple years before that, Cincinnati started things like that. But Connie Mack started the Philadelphia A's in 1901. And he managed for like 50 years, and then he retired.
Even that's just crazy.
Yeah.
And he played before that, right?
Yes, he did. Now, the reputation is he was not a good player. But he was good defensively. He was a catcher, and they say that every joint. You got to remember now, in those days, the catcher didn't squat behind home plate. He was another 10, 15 feet back behind home plate, and the pitcher just wound up and roared this ball. And the ball was not as hard as it is today, but he had every joint in his fingers and both hands broken. And
he wasn't wearing gloves.
Well,
no gloves.
Yeah, no gloves, right?
Yeah.
And you're still throwing maybe not 90 miles per hour. You're still throwing 70, 60 miles per hour, whatever.
Right.
That's not going to feel too good.
No, it won't. And I guess maybe a lot of the times he was so far back that it probably bounced before he could. But if you had a really good pitcher who could throw it,
that's crazy.
Yeah, you were going to pay for it.
I mean, even then, even in the 50s, the catcher's mitts, even though they were wearing gloves at that point, they're not offering that much protection as they are these days.
No, not as they were these days, because those catchers, and when I was there, God, I can even think of some of the names. But anyway, those catchers used to put sponge rubber padding underneath the glove itself and between their hands to try and cushion the blow. And even that wasn't enough, because now they're up behind the plate and you've got guys throwing the ball 90 miles an hour. And, if you're seeing 100, maybe if you're the first string full-time catcher, you on a bad night, you might be seeing 200 pitches.
You brought up something earlier about how popular the game was especially in the 50s. Why do you think that was? And then why do you think it's kind of taken a back seat to other sports now, especially in this town?
Well, it seems to me like it goes in cycles, because Connie Mack, when he started, and here's the difference, he won. He was winning championships. He was winning World Series. So for the first 10 years, everybody came out to see him. Even if they had to stand outside a rope, these people stood and watched the games being played.
Mhm.
But then when Connie Mack got to my time in the 50s, the A's were like the worst team in baseball, and people weren't coming out.
Mhm.
And that's what drove him to this financial.
Because he owned the team as well, right?
He owned it,
Right.
and he owned the stadium. He owned everything. But, the people weren't. They used to put signs up on telephone poles that were called Save the A's, and they were begging people to come to the games. But the A's, who were terrible, and the Phillies, who were in the 50s, they were pretty good. That was Richie
The Whiz
Ashburn,
Kids,
the Whiz
right.
Kids. They came for the Phillies, and they never came for the A's, and he just became broke and had to sell.
Wow.
And Connie Mack brought us the Sunday baseball, right? Blue Laws? Or got rid of
The Blue Laws, yeah, probably. I really don't remember how that all came about, but that was part of it. God, now we have night baseball. Back in those days, it was always day baseball. I mean, there were no light standards.
I think it was actually the Phillies and the Reds. I think were the first two teams they played against each other. I think that was the first night game ever.
The night game, yeah, you might be right.
Yeah.
Now I don't know when that was. Like, are we talking 60s or?
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
80s or something, yeah. But and then night baseball, and then of course comes television, and then the big contracts.
And then things change.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you for taking the time and
my
to
pleasure,
speaking
my
to us.
pleasure,
And I was really interested in hearing about some of those days. I'm sure there's plenty more, especially as they come to mind. But yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun time for me. It was just 2 summers. We're talking June, July, and August, 53 and 54. Just a little 13-year-old kid hopping a bus in Mount Airy and driving all the way down to 20th and Lehigh, and just crazy stuff that went on. It was a real fun time.
Well, now that I'm married to your daughter, am I kind of like a part of the Connie Mack family?
You certainly are.
And there are 3 books that people can. They're pretty good, aren't they? That people can read if they wanted to learn more about Connie Mack.
Yes. The man's name was like Mach.
Yes.
Macht or something.
Yeah.
But he wrote 3 books that delve into 3 different periods, like from the day Connie Mack was born, and then series 2 and series 3, and it just gives you everything in his life.
It's pretty cool.
It is, and they're huge. They're tomes. Each one of them is huge books.
Yeah, after I'll Google it and shoot that out there, and that way if anyone's interested, they can check it out.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Quinn.
Thank you, Quinn.
Thanks, guys.
That's great stuff.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Very nice. Yeah, really good tribute.
20th and
really
high.
And you got your satchel, Gary.
Yeah, satchel.
Mhm.
That's pretty wild, yeah. Oh man.
So yeah, no, that's thanks for playing it, and obviously, unfortunate circumstances, sad day, but I think that he was looking for us to celebrate him a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm glad
Get to
that
the party that he was looking for, but this is kind of as close as we could do the party, right? Sorry.
yeah, for now, right, for the time being, for sure. And I thought this was the perfect way to pay homage to him, and obviously it has ties to Philly and sports. And
One more to Bill.
All right, thanks, guys. Oh, waiting for Mike to pour a shot. You got James there, Mike?
Here's the bell.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Guys. Cheers.
Yeah, whiskey, closest whiskey sour I can get.
There
What are you drinking here, Mike?
Jamie, little Jamie.
Good old Jameson.
Jamie's become the drink of choice on this show.
I love that fucking stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's better than Fireball.
It is.
Ron, are you hanging out for a bit, or are you logging off? Okay.
10, 15 minutes.
Okay. So I thought it's
Yeah,
good.
and if we're gonna do 15, we got to talk Eagles a little bit, right? Go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, I don't. Well, I figure maybe we'll segue into baseball real quick, and then we can get into football.
Okay.
The Hall of Fame ballot was announced. The 2021 Hall of Fame ballot. So
let's do it like this, Sean. Why don't you read off the names and we all suggest, or we all give our opinion if they get in?
Okay. Bobby Abreu.
No.
Barry Bonds.
No.
He should, but he's not.
No, because of PED use.
Yeah, he should be in, but he's not going to.
Yeah, he should get in.
Mark Burley. First time.
I'm
gonna say no.
No.
Nah.
And remember, they don't have to vote. I think they can vote one guy in if they want to. They can do whatever. Yeah. AJ Burnett.
No way.
No.
He had a long career, but I agree. I'm gonna say no to that. Roger Clemens.
Yes. Again, he should, but he won't.
Who, Roger Clemens? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one that shouldn't. I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly with you, Roy.
Mm-hmm.
First time, Michael Cudier. Michael Cudier.
No way. How is he even on the ballot?
Yeah.
How about, is it just because they've been retired 5 years? Like, do you automatically get put on the ballot?
No, you have to. You do have to receive some kind. There is a vetting process of some sort. How about Dan Harron? How about
really?
How about LaTroy Hawkins?
Really?
All right. How about Todd Helton? I say yes.
Yeah. He's a career 300 hitter, and he has. Does he
almost hit 400.
Does he have 500 homers?
You know what? Helton might have. If he doesn't have 500, he's close.
I'll look it up real quick.
Okay.
Is he the most famous Rocky ever?
No, I think it. Him or Larry Walker.
I go Todd Helton. I go Todd Helton over Larry Walker personally. I don't think there's any question Todd Helton gets into the Hall of Fame. So while Ryan's looking that up, how about Tim Hudson?
No.
This one's interesting. I'm going to say no because of the next guy, Torrey Hunter.
So the next guy's Andrew Jones.
Yes, he is. Good job. Yeah. I say no to Torrey Hunter. I say Andrew Jones gets in.
He has Todd Helton has 369 homers.
All right.
2,519 hits, 1,400 runs batted in, and 1,400 runs scored. He's a Hall of Famer.
Callie was pretty close to 75. Yeah. I thought he had more than, especially in Colorado. But you know what, though? He wasn't like a big power hitter. He was more of a,
contact hitter.
Yeah, contact. But still.
Playing in Colorado, though, like, you're going to hit homers.
I'll tell you what. Andrew Jones is a guy that probably does get in, but I don't think that he should get in.
I take Torrey Hunter before Andrew Jones. Torrey Hunter did it for a lot longer.
Man.
I always remember, and maybe it's biased because he played for Braves, but I always remember him winning Golden Gloves because he got late jumps on balls and kind of, made spectacular plays that made ordinary plays spectacular because
he was out of position.
He was out of position and stuff.
All right. How about Jeff Kent?
Jeff Kent?
No, I mean, I don't think that character-wise, I don't think that he gets in.
Like I mean,
I'm going to say yes.
He was a good second baseman for a long time. Really long. Biggio was the other one. Remember the other one that killed himself? Ken Caminiti.
Third baseman, yeah.
Himself. I'm gonna say yes to Kent.
I say no with character. I think the character's going to come into play.
What about fucking what's his face? It was in the KKK. Hornsby, Rogers Hornsby, or whatever.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Andy Pettit, long time.
Yeah.
He won a couple World Series.
Although I know he's also tied to the PEDs.
Yeah, he is.
I'm gonna say no to that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm going to say no.
He's another guy that he's probably been on the ballot for a while and hasn't
been on for a while, right? Another first timer, Aramis Ramirez. No.
Really?
Manny Ramirez.
Oh, Manny Ramirez.
No, Aramis was the first one, and now I'm saying Manny's the next one.
Aramis, no. Manny, yes.
Is this the first time Manny's?
No,
was he tied to PEDs?
Manny was on it.
He is.
Yeah.
He was suspended a couple times.
Callie said the same thing. Yes to Pettit, but PEDs. We'll keep him out.
It's probably the same thing with Manny. He should be in, but
he was such a popular player for such a long time, man.
Yeah. He's a nutcase.
I don't think he gets in. I don't think Manny gets in, though.
Do you think he should?
I think he should.
I think he should.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah.
Like I think, Jeff Kent should, just like Roger Clemens. Yeah, I don't see it. Then how about Scott Rowland? Here's one.
He was average, a little bit better than average, but
I'm going to be really interested to hear your reactions to this one. Kurt Schilling.
Yes. I say yes.
Character issues are going to hurt him.
Callie said Ramirez can mow a lawn. Oh, I'm sorry. Polsky said he can't mow a lawn.
So, Kurt Schilling's obviously been out of the league for a lot longer than 5 years, too.
Yeah, this is a few years now. This is like his third time.
He was never tied to PEDs, was he?
Mm-mm.
No, he's just
a douche.
Yeah, he's just kind of a head case.
I probably think that he should.
He should.
I'm going to say no because I think there's pitchers that deserve to be in there before him that aren't in. And
good point.
I know that's not going to be this is just this class and this is what's on the ballot because once you're on for so many times, that's it. You're done, right?
Right.
I because of that, I just don't see him as being rated as one of the greatest pitchers of all time. I can't. I don't know. He is kind of an a-hole. Although he was nice, super nice to me when I met him the one time. He was the nicest guy ever to me. But he's kind of a lunatic now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he didn't seem that bad when he played. He seems like he kind of went
it's
off
really
the deep
since
end.
he retired. Like
Yeah.
just got all political and insane.
Character guy, Gary Sheffield.
No.
Big asshole. And no.
PEDs, so he's a big PED guy.
Right. So here's two first timers. Nick Swisher.
I'm going down.
That's what she said.
Bruh.
And Philly. I remember
who's it? Nick Swisher and who?
A Philadelphia Philly. Remember the 2008 team? Shane Victorino.
What a weak ass list.
The fact that he's on the Hall of Fame list, they're probably going to retire his number. Come on, man.
Not retire his number, but put him on the wall.
Everybody.
Yeah, he'll end up on the wall.
They're going to put that whole 2008 team up there.
They are. They're going to put the whole 2018 one.
Yeah, the only one that legitimately probably should be is Rollins.
Eric Brotlett's going to be.
I mean, oddly obvious.
And Howard.
Yeah. Cole Hamels too.
World Series MVP, not NLCS MVP, and no hitter. Yeah,
he was in a run for Cy Young quite a few times.
Yeah.
Omar Vizquel. I loved Omar Vizquel.
Yes. He should be in. He's one.
It looks like I'm going with the underrated guy. The guys that fly under the radar were so good, like Jeff Kent, Todd Helton, and Omar Vizquel. That's my class.
Same here.
Two more. Billy Wagner.
Why? Because he could throw 99 miles an hour for 2 years? Get the fuck out.
And Barry Zito.
Barry Zito? Barry Zito's on the fucking ballot. Like, baseball's a joke. Baseball's a joke, dude.
Callie said about Vizquel, best glove you ever saw. The best glove I ever saw was...
Best glove I ever saw was Ozzie Smith.
I was gonna say why my second baseman Roberto
Alomar.
Robbie Alomar, best glove I ever saw. Yeah, but cool. All right,
Barry Zito.
That's your 2001 Hall of Fame, and
2001. When we jump back a few years.
2001 Hall of Fame. That's it. It's like Mike's corner puck.
Enough.
We're doing 2004. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
All right, I'm going to bail out, fellas.
All right, you got to wait until one of them come back.
Gary's here.
Gary, I don't see him. I don't hear him either. I hear him.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, I don't see you. All right, let's get, all right, you're good then. I don't see him, but
you don't want to be left here with just a black screen.
Do you see a black screen? Are you good?
No, I see Gary, but behind him is just black.
I don't see it.
All you see is a black screen?
Yeah.
You want me to refresh?
Yeah, if you can, if you don't mind. Oh, there you go. You're good. You're good. All right. Rye.
All right, fellas. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, flick that bean, yeah.
See you, dude.
All right, Mike.
See you, miserable.
All right.
See you, brother. All right, so let's speaking of being miserable, the Philadelphia Eagles, they make it miserable. They lost to the Giants last week.
They got embarrassed. I mean, it wasn't even like close.
It was horrendous. It might have been. I'm not going to go as far as to say it was one of the worst games I've seen in recent memory because I'm not. Because last year we had worse games. Carolina, Tennessee, the games were much worse. But just poorly played all around. No execution. And, I don't know how much you want to get into the game, but I do have two questions about coming out of the game that I want to see what you guys think about it.
Now there's some, I want to give a little bit of credit. Daniel Jones played a pretty decent game. Made a couple nice throws. I mean, some of those throws that he made right after the Eagles scored to basically march back down the field and kind of take back the momentum. They were pretty well defended. But it would have been nice if the Eagles were able to, the corners were able to make some plays back on it. But
and apparently there was a missed tackle on Daniel Jones's long run that he had for the touchdown. Someone said they missed an assignment. Okay, I think it was TJ Edwards actually said he missed an assignment. All right, fine. I get it. It was the same exact play call you gave up the last time you guys played him. And you know what? The defense sucked.
Yeah.
Okay, the defense was absolutely horrendous. Jim Schwartz is
Schwartz is as big as mine.
We've been saying it for at least 2 years that we're done, right?
Yeah.
So I put up a thing on our Twitter page, Corner Pub Sports, and I said something like, I forget. He said I've retweeted a story by some writer. He said Jim Schwartz takes responsibility. So why don't you take that responsibility out the fucking door? And some dude, he followed us. I don't know who he was. I never interacted with the guy. Said, "Fuck you turncoat." I'm like, turncoat. I'm like, dude, if you know us, we've been saying this for a couple of years now. Jim Schwartz is trash. We don't want him here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going back and forth, and I can't understand what the fuck he's writing. So I said, you know what, dude, when you learn how to write above a third grade level, then you can come back at me.
Yeah, go fuck your mother.
Yeah, I had no idea what the fuck he was saying. And,
Now go home and get your fucking shine
but
box.
turncoat, when we've been preaching this for a couple of years now, and actually, Phil Mikowski is one of our listeners. He's been saying it for longer than that. Even doing it the whole year, he's been saying fire Jim Schwartz. I wasn't on board with Schwartz too much when we signed him. I thought, this is a guy 0-16 lines. Okay, maybe he's a better defensive coordinator. We heard him on the local sports talk shows talking about I'm going to throw fastballs at offenses, and he doesn't blitz, and he plays sticks defense, and it's embarrassing. And I think I don't know. I think we're all on the same page. If there's any coaching changes that need to be made, I think that's number one, right?
I mean, you got opponents saying that the Eagles defense is the easiest defense to prepare for because they don't change.
Yeah.
Other GMs around the league apparently have been saying that. That's bad.
It is bad.
And I got to be honest, I think their offense is easy to prepare for too.
It is.
You get all these weapons back. You get Miles Sanders back. You get Goddard back. You get Alshon Jeffrey back. You threw to Alshon once. You take 2 deep shots, and then everything else you do in that game is 5-yard patterns. You're not going to beat anybody doing that. And the Giants defense was letting you do that. They were backed up. They were saying, you know what, beat us underneath. You're not beating us over the top. And guess what? Wentz can't go anywhere, right? He's not going to run because what's he going to do? Get a 2-yard game? Because they're, as soon as they see him take off, they're coming in on him. They're hanging back watching him.
Something different has to change here. Something's got to give. I mean, is it the coach? Is it the quarterback? I mean, you got to make a decision between one or the other because you don't want to come to a point where you get into next season and you got to make a decision on both. You got to make a decision on one or the other.
I don't know.
Honestly, Mike, you don't want to be in a position where you got to make a decision on both your head coach and your quarterback.
So
right now, they're not going to make a decision on their quarterback. The quarterback's their quarterback.
So you're saying fire Peterson now?
No. I'm not saying fire Peterson. I'm not saying bench Wentz, but something's got to give. It's bad.
It stinks.
Yeah, you're exactly, Sean. This is a problem. Something's got to be different.
You cannot. I mean, we've seen enough.
Yeah.
You know what the biggest problem that I had, and it was something that I know I screamed about. I mean, there's a few things I screamed about, but their decision on the coaching thing to not have an offensive coordinator, but to have like 5 offensive minds, this offensive committee, and all these different guys. Nobody knows who's on first, and I think that that's a problem. I think that was a huge mistake. Trying to be innovative and do this thing is part of what problem gets them in a bad spot.
And that's the thing. I haven't seen any innovation. I haven't seen anything new this year. Putting Jalen Hurts in a Wildcat, not really a Wildcat, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, making him a Taysom Hill when he's not nearly Taysom Hill.
No. And every time he's on the fucking field, it's a run. It's an option to the side. It's an option to the right. It's an option. Let him throw the fucking ball.
How about last week? This was like pretty much. Well, there's 2 things that Peterson did that I just was dumbfounded on. The one thing was you're down by 3 you're down by 4. I'm sorry, you're down by 4.
Go for 2.
And you go for 2 with like plenty of time left in the game. What are you doing? First of all, you're banking on the fact, I guess, if they only stay at whenever they had 17 points at the time, you're going to keep them at 17 when you haven't stopped them at all that game.
So was it just that a field goal would win it instead of tying it?
Right.
Like, you never played. Oh, that's so stupid.
No, and just be fucking. It's like stop. Even the Eagles beat right. I think even Zach Berman, who never says stuff, he's like, "Oh, that's great." So instead of being down 3, you're down 4. Makes sense. Like, what's the point of that? Granted, it did not come back to bite him because they lost by 10 in embarrassing fashion. The other thing was, speaking of Jalen Hurts, they're driving down the field early third quarter. They're driving down the field. They're running down their throats. Miles Sanders has a couple big runs. Wentz makes a couple decent throws, and then you put
get away from it. Yep.
You put in Hurts on like 3rd down or 2nd down, and it just killed the drive. And the 3rd down, Wentz has one play to get 8-9 yards, whatever it was, and they didn't get it, and I think they ended up punting or hit the field. I don't know I forget what they did, but
weren't they like 0 for like 10, 0 for 11 in the game on third down or something?
0 for 11.
First time since 2004 against Pittsburgh that they did not get a third down conversion.
Well, here's another thing for you, fellas. Anytime that they use Jalen Hurts and Jalen Hurts is on the field, Carson Wentz ain't on the sidelines. He's on the field too.
Mm-hmm.
He's lined up as a receiver because
they're
going to throw him the ball.
That's because they're worried about hurting his fucking feelings.
You might be right about that. You're still going to be involved, Carson. You just throw a block. I wonder how he feels. Like, I wonder how he felt about that drive when he's like, "Wow, we're moving." We're going to call Jalen Hurts special 2, part 2. Jalen Hurts special 2, and then Wentz is like, "What the fuck, man?" Oh, I'm sorry. He was more like,
"Oh, Jesus Christ!"
And prayed and went to the sideline, went to the side of the field, and ran a 2-yard.
There's even reports now that Carson Wentz's preparation for the following game, he's just sloppy.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of that too. I heard that they're. Yeah, I think Brandon Graham even said that they're not executing in practice.
Right, they're sloppy all around. He said.
Well, that what's that then? You know, is it a combination? Is it being old and tired, or is it you're tired of the coach, or is the coach just not being creative enough? Is he not influencing them enough? I don't know.
Well, I think that the coach has lost the quarterback, and if you lost the quarterback, he might as well have lost the locker room.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing is that for years they've played well at the end of the year, and Peterson's been able to motivate them. So this is the first year that it seems like it's going even further downhill. Now, I know they've regressed a little bit each year, but it seemed like Peterson was able to motivate them to play down the stretch to get into the playoffs the last couple of years. So
I mean, this is year 5 with your franchise quarterback, Mike.
You're wasting it, man. It's just
and he looks fucking terrible.
That's the thing that sucks.
I mean, are you wasting it, or is it him that's bad? Is it a bad year? Is it that he's not good enough, or is it that they're not creative enough? I don't know.
I don't think the problem is talent, because he's shown that he has the talent. I just think Carson Wentz has grown tired of the playbook.
You know, what changed, right? Like, I know he got hurt and stuff, but he played well last year down the stretch. He
played really well last year down the stretch.
Yeah,
but it's the same. It's the same play calling this season.
Yeah, but you know what? If it worked last season, but the thing is that like you're a professional. You go out and play. You play at the same place. Like, you don't get bored of something and not play as well. I don't buy that.
100% what you're saying, Mike. But this is a profession. It's a job. This is your job. So don't sit there and tell me when you're doing the same repetitive bullshit day in and day out that you don't get bored with the same old bullshit. I do. I'll tell you that right now. I do. If I got to do the same fucking shit, the same call day in, day out, I lose interest. I get bored.
You show me a hot girl, I'll show you a guy who's tired of fucking her.
Well, that's a little different. That's a little different, Sean.
You old fat bitch!
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
You know, throwing a 40-yard pass is a little different than loosening up your
Well,
you know.
So I don't know. I don't know what. There's definitely something to it, to the fact that there's the creative play calling. I think that there's something to that. You got Jalen Reagor, and you're not using them that much.
Where's the jet sweep? Where is it?
Where's the bubble screens? Where's the?
Why not?
They haven't used it.
There was one play call that I went, wow, that was a great call. It was 3rd and 1, and they did a wide receiver screen. And it was well done. It was a quick pass, boom, and he gained like 6 yards. I was like, wow, that was actually a real, because I didn't see that coming. Usually,
obviously it wasn't 3rd and 1 because they didn't have any 3rd down.
Oh, you're right. It wasn't 3rd.
It must have been 2nd and 1 or something.
Well, I mean, the last time I used a wide receiver jet sweep was with fucking Deshaun Jackson. They got 12 yards out of it. You haven't seen it.
Why can't Reagor run that? Right, Rager's faster than Deshaun.
Yeah. And I know Gary's going to get pissed off at me, but I'm going to continue. I just love the praises that were sung about DK Metcalf yesterday. And then Justin Jefferson, I just keep thinking about what this team would look like with Jefferson and Metcalf as your wide receivers.
Probably the same because they misused them too.
Well, that's
probably.
probably.
I can't get pissed off for you saying that, Mike, because you got a point there. Sidney Jones looked like trash here, and Green Bay, he's lighting it up.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, yeah.
Like, what the fuck? The problem here in Philadelphia is this coaching staff has a problem developing players. They go somewhere else and they develop. They did not develop to the next level here. Like if Rager continues with this coaching staff is going to ruin him. They're going to ruin him.
I mean,
who have they developed as a rookie? Who?
Miles Sanders.
Okay, that's one.
I don't even know about that.
Quarterback. Your coaching staff, they ain't even developing him.
I don't even know about that because he had a good second half last year when they started to use him. When they started benching the guy they just re-signed, Jordan Howard. The Eagles just re-signed Jordan Howard. You're bringing him back, and that's a good move. I'm not bashing the move because of COVID.
That's a solid move.
Yeah, it makes sense. I get it. But he had a good second half last year, and this year he's he has flashes. And I'm not saying it's anything against Miles Sanders. I think Miles Sanders on talent alone is going to be a phenomenal back in this league. I'm not going to say that it's the coaching staff that has developed him.
You think it's just that he was okay. Dallas Goedert, again, it depends. I mean, because you could make an argument that Dallas Goedert's doing it on talent alone too.
How about Mailata? I'll give him credit for Mailata. He turned out to be someone that, he was a project.
Right.
Mailata was a project. He was a rugby player. He comes in and actually looked excellent. He looked excellent. So,
that's like trying to run through a fucking Mack truck.
Yeah, 6'9", 300 something, whatever.
And he's on the bench.
Yeah, I know. He might be the one guy I look at and go, okay.
And then you got Jason Peters. What's he? 37 fucking years old.
Probably older than that, but
38.
Well, and he's starting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because you paid him too much money because you didn't trust Mailata.
Because you let him bend you over the fucking table. That's why. And I think, and I mentioned, I think I said early in the season. I think he lost the locker room because of that. I think that Jason Peters thing threw a lot of guys that made them look at him the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
When they saw Peters push him around, saying I want more money, and no, and then he ended up giving them more money. And now what you did with Mailata, man.
Yeah. Let's get back to the point that I was making in the beginning of this conversation, Sean. If your coach has lost the locker room and you got a quarterback that's playing shitty, you cannot go into a season, the following season, and worrying about the both. You cannot worry about your head coach and your franchise quarterback moving into a season. You have to figure out one or the other.
Yeah,
it's not going to be Wentz.
Well, speaking of Wentz, one of the questions I was going to ask coming out of the Giants game, he got all his weapons back. There's no excuses now, except for Deshaun Jackson. He got everything else back. He got a healthy offensive line. He got all his other receivers back. He got one of his tight ends back. There's no excuses for him now, right? And then you have a performance like that. Now, I'm not saying Wentz did not play bad. I think Wentz did what he was given on Sunday with what the defense was giving him, I should say. I think he was like, all right, well, they're playing us deep. I gotta do these little 5-yard slants. I gotta do that. He had a couple deep balls that didn't pan out, and he took shots, and
there was a couple drops.
So I'm not going
to even the running back screens that he throws. They're in the ground.
But there was one, like I'm saying, it was second. It had to be second down because it wasn't third down. That he did. He had a nice throw, nice quick out.
And Sanders dropped it.
No, he caught it. Oh, Sanders did drop another one. You're right. No, there was someone. I think it was to. It wasn't Hightower. Might have been the Rager. I think Rager called a screen and took it for like 12 yards. Use the speed. Use that stuff to your advantage. But anyway, to get back, like, right? I mean, would you agree? There's no more excuses for him now this year,
right?
There can't be.
Yeah.
Well, my problem, Sean, is you got to play call to your talent. Like Bill Belichick, he's one of the best at doing that.
He's a mastermind at that.
Yes. If you even no names, you got no names on your team, and you're calling plays to the best and utilize that player's talent.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't Coach Pete? Why can't Peterson do that?
Well, he had it with a little bit with Fulgham, and then that went away. But you get Alshon Jeffrey back, and you throw to him once.
That only went away for one game. Fulgham's been productive in every game since he's been here.
Well, I just wanted to, and that was my second question. Do you think teams? Now you're saying one game. He hasn't scored in a little while, and
it's at least been two.
Yeah, and yeah, right. Because the Cowboys and the Giants, I don't think he scored against them the first time either. Oh no, the Giants he did. I'm sorry, the Giants was the first game he really. Yeah. Who did he play right before the Cowboys? Giants, Cowboys. Who was before that?
Fucking Giants, Cowboys.
It was the Giants again, wasn't it?
It was the Giants. All right.
He had a touchdown in that game.
Yeah, he did. So the last two games he hasn't, but he was kind of invisible on Sunday against the Giants, who aren't a great pass defensive team, and you couldn't get him open. Do you think teams are going to start having a book on him now? Do you think it's either, I mean, what do you think?
I think maybe a little bit. I mean, I think that he needs to prove that he's able to do it when the focus is on him, that he's not just going to be, now they're going to start putting some of their better corners on him, making other guys beat you. And I don't know if he's going to be able to do it compete against better corners. So, but again, you get Alshon back. You didn't put him on the IR, and you throw to him once.
Alshon was in the game for the first quarter. You didn't see him the rest of the game.
Yeah.
No. Like, what the fuck? And I'm not saying he's the answer or the good old, you know what I mean?
The answer?
I love my little dudes.
The veteran presence of having Alshon on that field, it's a good thing to have. And you after the first quarter, you don't have him on the field. Like, what the fuck?
It's the smartest guy in the room mentality. It's that whole thing.
I just can't figure it out. I don't understand it.
We're going for 2 when we're down by 4. We're doing this when we shouldn't be doing. We're going to go for it in our own fucking. We're at our in our own territory instead of playing a player position, the field position battle.
You.
Hi.
Oh, you can hear her?
How are you, Maddie? Oh, she can't hear me.
Yeah.
Can you bring me upstairs?
All right, guys. I got to
all right.
tuck somebody in, so I'll be back.
All right. Yeah, so
Headphones.
Thanks.
Your headphones are pretty.
All right, so what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, so the coaching thing. It's at some point like the whole smartest person in the room mentality, right? We saw it with Reed for years. Now we're seeing it with Peterson, and it's not like it's a new thing. When Peterson first came onto the scene, that first year wasn't pretty with him at all.
No. You know what, sir? I don't think it's all Peterson. I think it's deeper and higher than him.
And Polsky said ego. Ego does have something to do with it. Howie Roseman has something to do with it. The lack of, but there is ego involved because, look, if you love something about your job, do you want to give it up? Like, so if Peterson says his favorite part of the job is calling plays, can you really say fuck him? He should give it up.
Well, I mean, me personally, Sean, if I'm doing something at work and I realize I'm doing it good for so long, and then I have problems where I'm messing up, this ain't working right, then yeah, I got to do something differently. You know what I mean? He's got to put it aside and do something, whatever's better for the team. You know what I mean? And him calling the plays right now, that's not the best option for the team.
No, I agree. Yeah, they got to do something there, man. So we got quite a few things to still get to, but why don't we do our predictions for the Eagles-Browns? Eagles defense going against Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb. Jarvis Landry. They're going to have their hands full, especially against the run. They're going to have their hands full because the Browns, I believe, are still the top running team in the league.
They are because of their 1-2 punch.
They have a great 1-2 punch, probably the best.
Thunder Lightning.
Yeah,
I'm worried.
If you just let Daniel Jones tear you apart,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't think Baker Mayfield's a great quarterback, but you can't even get to a quarterback right now.
If the problem with Baker Mayfield is if you force the game to have to go into his hands, and he's got to make the decisions as a passer, and he's got to complete passes to win the game, then he's no good.
Well, the one day you're going to be able to do that is if your offense can put fucking points on the board. And when you only put 17 against the Giants, who are pitiful.
I don't think the Eagles defense stops this running attack, Sean. I just don't.
They struggled last week. Yeah, they struggled against Gallman last week.
Yeah.
That could be the difference in the game because if the Browns control the game and you keep the Eagles offense, who is kind of futile at this point anyway, this could be another ugly game.
Yeah. Me personally, I like the Browns here, 21-17 against the Eagles.
Yeah, the Browns are favored by 3 at home. I said that I'm not picking the Eagles again. After losing last week against the Giants, I said I'm done picking the Eagles this season.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm not picking them. I'm going to say not only do they lose, I'm going to say they lose by double digits. I say they lose by 10 points again.
Wow.
Because fuck them, that's why.
Come on, man.
I know. But no, I'm not I just don't feel it. I don't have any confidence in them. And watch, they're going to rip the fucking roof off Cleveland.
But me personally, this is the game. If the Eagles lose this game against the Browns, this is the game where Jeffrey Lurie is going to be like,
fuck. Well, while Gary is frozen, we'll go through the games for Week 11. Falcons play the Saints. The Falcons are 3.5-point favorites on the road going to New Orleans, who just named Polsky said the Eagles will win by 3. All right. Well, I hope so, dude. Hope you're right. Jameis Winston was benched. Not benched, but he thought he was going to have the starting job. And they're giving it to Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is going to be the starter for the Saints. I am going to go Saints on this one. Gary's coming back here in a second. So